too.
Atrocity is recognized as such by victim and perpetrator alike, by all who learn about it at whatever remove. Atrocity has no excuses, no mitigating argument. Atrocity never balances or rectifies the past. Atrocity merely arms the future for more atrocity. It is self perpetuating upon itself, a barbarous form of incest. Whoever commits atrocity also commits those future atrocities thus bred. The Apocrypha of Muad'Dib. Welcome back to Dune Saga, everyone. This is Season 3 of our Dune campaign here on the Stolen Fires channel. I am Eric at Modern Recluse Online, your game master for this epic multi-arc adventure series, which continues tonight with our 5th storyline, Leviathan. As a content warning, this program features adult situations and language and may not be suitable for all ages, so listener discretion is advised. A very warm welcome and salutation to new and old viewers alike to the Stolen Fires channel here on Twitch, where there's always a Let's Play or an awesome RPG live play to look forward to. Special music shoutouts go to Pixabay and Fraction, aka Kevin MacLeod, for Midnight Tale, Repulsive Sound, The Whole Other, Tabletop Audio, and Blear Moon. Many thanks to Modifius Entertainment for making awesome games for us to play. We want to thank Roll20 for the use of their virtual tabletop platform, perfect for hosting games just like Dune Adventures in the Imperium. And as always, we want to give a big thanks to our viewers and fans for tuning in. Our house entourage is here and ready to engage in the deadliest of intrigues. Agents of the Imperium, remind our audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this evening. Beginning with Leo.
Hello. My name is Jared. My name is Leo. You can find me at Leo of the Black here on Twitch, and where I do everything from playing video games. And today I'll be playing General Archibald, for he has plans that he has.
Excellent. Aaron.
Hello, everyone. I am Aaron. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Greek Cthulhu in some fashion. My pronouns are anything except he, him. Tonight I will be playing Eloise Cheshire, whose pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. Ambrose.
Hey everybody, I'm Ambrose. Pronouns are he or they. You can find me all over the internet as Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. And tonight, I'm a makeup artist. No, wait. Tonight I am Zoshir Tamer, whose pronouns are also he or they.
Excellent. All right. Devin.
Hello one, hello all. My name is Devin. You can find me online at Sword of Sullied. And tonight I am playing Conquee Cen.
Excellent. And last but not least, of course, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Rachel. I'm Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet, including here in the Burning Bird app and elsewhere. And tonight I am playing Lady Daphne, the leader of this herd of cats.
Excellent, excellent. And now for a short recap of the previous session, if you would be so kind, Ambrose.
Funny, because it's true. Spice cats. Tonight's story opens on the palace with Eloise. Amirah feels troubled by recent developments and is ready to march on hell if Eloise requires. Archibald's plan with Tupile is sheer suicide. But Eloise isn't sure. What better options do they have? Well, what do they stand to gain? Eloise's goal is freedom, but the Imperium and Guild is all they've ever known. Amirah points out this isn't a binary choice. There's always another option. But is Eloise free of doubt? The former guildswoman doesn't answer. She'll need some time to think. On their way to breakfast, Eloise stops to visit the Fremen guests. They're struggling to adopt to a diurnal schedule, and Eloise apologizes for disturbing them. But she needs spice. Can Zoshir set up negotiations? He reluctantly agrees. At the same time, Archibald and Yeva make their own way down. Yeva mentions she should return home for the sake of their child. show the people Librius's strength, and perhaps make an example of Omelas before attending Alicia's execution. Of course, that would end up with Yeva as Jabberwock's steward. Archibald is fine with her returning home, but doesn't want Omelas killed. Not yet. Not while he can lead to bigger fish. A page awakens Lady Daphne. This is the last week the Fenrings will be on Arrakis. Daphne hasn't seen Mossam and Kyra since the test, but assumes they're at Kyra's siege. Since Mohaim sent a very threatening letter, she feels it safer to stay away. But in the meantime, guests await the Duchess. When she greets the Fenrings, they bring up Archibald's visit to Caladan. The Atreides are certainly friendly, but no fools, he says. The question remains, why did the Emperor give the planet to them? A voice speaks out of turn with an answer. A minor heiress from Jabberwock, Lady Rogelia Hubert, who has never been any fan of Daphne's. She wonders why the people aren't thanking Leto over Daphne. Daphne tries to handle the matter herself, but Varys is eager to jump to her defense. This provokes Rogelia into challenging him to a duel. I'm saying that name wrong. Rogelia. And as he accepts, Daphne notices Yeva closely watching the exchange. Varys turns stone cold after accepting. He's unusually skilled and draws his first blood, and thus victory. An angry and humiliated Rogelia storms out. Varys confesses to Daphne he looked into her house and knows of the swordman who was, until late, faithfully by her side. A shame she is now so unprotected. When Daphne asks how a member of an agricultural house learned to fight like that, he invites her to a private demonstration. They share a moment viewing a holographic projection of Aeonidas before Pardo interrupts with an urgent message for Varys. Daphne lets him go with a kiss on the cheek and a thanks for his gallantry. On her way back, Daphne whispers to Yeva, "Try harder next time." So much shade. And that other woman bites her lips so hard it bleeds before taking her own leave. Margot Fenring departs, slipping Daphne some coded dots which indicate Mossam is safe on Kytane. Daphne has friends in the Imperial Court, but Mohaim is not one of them. Daphne receives a security port from Pardo, which includes an ornithopter crash that killed Nuri Randama. Sabotage, not unlike that which killed Federico. Just this morning, the maid died of poison. Daphne issues orders to secure the complex, repeatedly, if necessary, in recompense to the maid's family. On Caladan, Lady Jessica greets Mother Norma, a little awkwardly. She'd expected Mohaim. Norma questions Jessica closely as to her loyalties. Clearly, she's with Paul and Leto. Norma waits in the room alone with Paul Atreides. He knows he will be tested, but not how. When Norma brings out the box, he resists, and a battle of wills ensues until... Wait. There's a hunter-seeker in the air aimed at Norma. She jerks the box away, startling Paul, who calls for his mother. Jessica fights her way through the other Bene Gesserit to her son. Love and Pranabindu let her dodge their attacks. She sees Norma diving over a chair while Paul evaluates the room. He settles on grabbing Norma before bolting out of the room. Jessica slashes with a hidden knife at an erstwhile sister, while Norma stabs her gum jabar through another sister's eyeball. Norma slams the glitchy hunter seeker into a wall with her box of pain, while Jessica bashes another sister's face in. The odds turned against the last Bene Gesserit. She attempts to flee, but is quickly captured thanks to Paul's quick action. Gurney Halleck arrives to pacify the scene, while Lady Jessica demands to know what violence Mother Norma has brought to her house. All of them stand before an enraged Duke Leto. Leto recognizes Norma as a member of House Cheshire. She demands to know what this all means. Norma explains the schism, mollifying Leto when she clarifies she's on their side. He extends his courtesy enough to let her leave freely with the captive sister. As she exits, Jessica asks if they'll try again. Not for Paul, Norma answers. Paul is still useful. Yue escorts Norma back to her ship, and Norma swears Yue will receive what he wishes. Back on Arrakis, Pardo calls the house to an emergency meeting. We're all in danger from the Harkonnen, and the Razia becomes of supreme importance. But there's also the worm hunt. Daphne commits the house's creakiest ornithopters to that. Archibald cuts in with questions of his own, especially how Randama's ornithopter went down. Daphne challenges Archibald to rein Yeva in before he asks a question of his own about where Mossam is. They're about to raid a Harkonnen spice trove while Daphne betrays the other nobles in the worm hunt, so wherever he is, both Daphne and Pardo insist he's safe. It's time to discuss the Razia. Eloise needs to know the house will enjoy a full share of the bounty. Of course, but now is the time for war. Archibald summons his Varangian guard, perhaps under cover of paying respects. Daphne orders a few ornithopters stripped of heraldry and branding, and a few choice targets given of Cardis heraldry instead. And perhaps guild contacts can foresee a coming sandstorm to time the attack. Zoshir, with Kyra's resources, asks for some distrans units should radio communications go down during such a sandstorm. Of course, but this means at least one Fremen among Archibald's units to establish lines of communication. News arrives from Salgalat's worm hunt. He tried to use a harvester primed with explosives intended to detonate when the worm swallowed it. That didn't work. The whole crew was lost among wild reports of a vortex sucking everything in. Raban is angry at the failure, summoning all heads of houses to a meeting. There's a new plan. When using atomics and careful timing, Raban announces. One which will take care of the Fremen as well. He also mentions the death of Nadka Zot, an envoy of House Gliss. Raban rages against this failure and demands every house give their all to this fight. On the way out, Daphne whispers to Varys they can no longer be safely seen together. She'll explain later, in secret. But Raban plans to use a stone burner.
And thank you for reading that, Ambrose, and thank you as always to Rachel for the excellent notes. We can continue with Leviathan. Do we have any volunteers as to who wants to go first? Oh, Norma. Very good. So, because we are on the precipice of a very large engagement in warfare, I'm going to handle the drama first before the violence. So we'll start with Norma. You have a bit of a trip from Caladan to Arrakis, if I'm not mistaken. You do a quick
Yes.
change to completely remake your look before you arrive. Is there anything that you're doing before you arrive on Arrakis?
I don't recall if I said what I was planning out loud.
I don't believe you have.
Okay, so on that wonderful trip back to Arrakis, I am going to take the one surviving Bene Gesserit and, using the voice among other methods of coercion, make her write her report to our wonderful Mohayam, or whomever she was sent by, which I'll find out during that time frame, and have her write the report that her mission was complete, that the 4 assassins sent did in fact complete the job. They killed Norma Senva. She is dead at great cost to themselves. The other 3 sisters died in the process, and I, the final of the 4 assassins, was heavily wounded. I am attempting to make my way back to Wallach 9. Of course, this one isn't going to make it, and all they'll find is her corpse on the Highliner.
Yeah, you find out very easily that they worked for Mohayam. She came to Arrakis with them as an entourage, and these weren't like your typical handmaidens or whatever. These were trained assassins by the Bene Gesserit. They were very intentionally there. And you recall back in your mind on the way back to Arrakis, because it's a couple days at least, not a week, you take time to replay the events of that day in your head, and you recall meeting with Mohayam and her immediately asking for your report. And you almost hesitated to tell her exactly what was going on, and then you remembered that she's the Emperor's truthsayer. She can tell when you're lying by omission or whatever, when she's just observing you. That's precisely what she did. And that moment, after you gave your report, she made a snap decision. She marked you for death. That was the code when she gave the order to her 4 initiates to follow you wherever you may go, in this case to Caladan. But she only had you in her sights. She had no plans to dispense with the Atreides boy, or anybody else in that household for that matter. Their plans are still evolving with that one, and other prospects, you suspect. So yeah, you replay all this in your mind, and you discover, like, yeah, this was basically her confirming for Harishka, Mother Superior, that you purposely left out vital information concerning Kyra on Arrakis, which means the Sisterhood knows that Kyra is on Arrakis, and they're going to be there soon enough, with violence in their minds. When you arrive to Arrakis, is there any particular protocol that you develop as far as like going to the residency, or do you use like back channels, or how exactly are you establishing communication with the rest of your house, considering you're dead?
Yeah, I am dead, and as you can see, I changed my whole look during that time frame. So when I get back to Arrakis, I use some back channels and basically sneak myself back onto the compound and towards Pardo, since he is the Mentat and basically in charge of much of what the ongoings,
The day-to-day
so that
stuff.
I can,
yeah. Luckily for you, you've already arrived in Kyra's good graces, so her network within Arakeen also works for you in that respect. You can interact with them, and you can send messages back and forth safely and reliably without the Sisterhood, becoming aware of your actions. So you go into the different sectors after you leave the spaceport. You facilitate some communication with the Marshal, and he sends a private ground car to basically bring you in, if that's the method that you want to utilize to get to the residency, to perhaps give Daphne some sort of an after-action report, if that's what you wanted to do.
But first, I just wanted to make sure that Pardo sets up my background that my arrival to the planet as Conquee Cen was preordained, that all the paperwork existed beforehand. Conquee Cen is a person that's been around the entire time, so that it's not I'm just a brand new face that arrived when Norma died.
Yeah, with his initial communication back to you after about an hour or so of processing that and sending somebody back, is, you know, essentially like Norma Senva died on Caladan from an assassination attempt. Like you explained, or if you explained that much to him in your initial communique, it's like, yeah, Norma Senva is dead. I'll be sure to notify the Duchess as such, and now we have Conquee Cen as part of the House Cheshire entourage. You know, proceed to the palace as you wish. You know. He sends a ground car for you, and eventually they bring you in. What's your first order of business when you arrive at the palace?
First order of business when I arrive at the palace is to give a quick report to Daphne, the Duchess.
Okay.
As her.
This is like in the middle of the day, we'll say. It's been about a week since you've been here, and some stuff has already happened since you've been gone, so you're not privy to it. But yeah, you send a message over to Daphne. Daphne, you're being you get two messages. One from Pardo, and he informs you that Norma has been found murdered on Caladan by some Bene Gesserit adepts, and now coming to you to the palace from the spaceport is one Conquee Cen, who says knows you and your family very well.
Okay. Daphne is not quite sure what to make of those messages, but yes, let's go meet this Conquee Cen.
Where do you establish a meeting point? Anywhere in particular in the palace? I'm assuming this is somewhat clandestine.
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's not. Yeah.
So actually, probably arrange a meeting at the spaceport.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, like find some lounge or meeting room or just out of the way place.
Okay, scratch that then. Well, you tell Pardo, no, send her to the spaceport and we'll meet, you know, privately there. Like they said, you send a word ahead, and the guild sets up like a special meeting room for very important people, VIPs. And you both arrive at different times. Norma arrives first, and then Daphne and her entourage staggers in afterwards. Who do you bring with you, if anyone at all, Daphne?
Pardo Reed. I think just Pardo, because I need to have a conversation with him on the way there.
Something troubles you, my lady?
I have some tasks for your small army of Fremen.
What would you require of me?
I need one of them to get a message to Kyra. I need them to be discreet about it. And then I need them to also visit Stilgar's siege and deliver a message to him.
If I may, it may not be wise to put someone in my capacity in charge of messaging the likes of Kyra and the Fremen, for security purposes, of course.
Well, that's what your Fremen messengers are for.
You mean the Tiberii? I don't know what you mean about Fremen. They've been here all along.
Oh, is that what we're calling them? Tiberii, then?
Indeed.
Well, if you feel it's safe, I would like both of them to know what Raban's plans are. He has something planned for the Fremen. I don't know what, but I'm sure it's nothing good, and they should prepare.
We'll hold a security meeting at once when we return to the palace, Your Grace.
Then I have a question for Kyra, if it's possible to ask it in safety.
Mm-hmm.
Why she let Mossum go to his father?
He has a bit of a surprised look on his face when you say that. He's like, huh. How unfortunate. I was just beginning to enjoy my time with the boy. I was mentoring him, you see. Very well, I shall facilitate the transfer of this message. In all secrecy, of course.
Thank you. The
You arrive at the,
message
sorry,
to
go ahead.
the message to Stilgar does not need to be conducted in as much secrecy as the one to Kyra.
Okay. So he'll send a Tiberian to deliver the message to Stilgar, and then he'll, who's intimate with that information? I don't think you've, oh, yeah, Zoshir would be, he's already been to Kyra's siege, so yeah, he'd probably hand it to him specifically. Okay. Alright, fair enough. You arrive at the spaceport and you meet with, you're brought into this room, very dimly lit, very sleek looking furniture, polished floors, and standing on the other side of the room is Conquee Cen. You can describe yourself if you like, Devin, or how you want
Conquee
to
Cen,
approach.
It looks, I would say probably 40s to 50s, but using spice. So, because there's one thing that you can't hide is the spice use. So Conquee Cen, reasonably pretty, flowing white hair, a little bit shorter than you'd expect somebody to be for being one of your new envoys. Turns around and says, "Oh, Duchess Daphne, it's so nice to meet you."
Would I recognize this as being former Norma?
That depends on how good of a performance she wants to give.
I'm trying to give a good performance here.
Oh, very good. So this is going to be a communication versus discipline. So Daphne's going to roll discipline observation and just look for those tells that will announce Norma as someone else.
Okay, so I'm going to say this is truth because I'm lying out my ass,
Oh, yeah.
which is communication deceit. So I have the focus in that.
God. I really doubt you're gonna roll worse than I do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, but you have
Jesus.
benevolence if you want to use it on that or save it for a later time.
Given the gifts that you posted in the channel earlier today, I'm going to save that.
I will say, though, you have front up in the conditioning, which means you can reroll anything having to do with discipline or move.
I will take that.
One dice. Reroll one dice.
Sorry. Yes, correct.
Nope.
Well, at least it's not a complication. So it might be like, you think this person's here to kill you, potentially.
No,
Oh,
I
shit.
rolled a complication. Well, I guess
Yeah,
I
you
could
got one.
re-roll the 20 to get rid of it.
That's what I automatically assumed you're going to re-roll a 20 because
Okay.
you don't want that. And you don't want to pay me
No,
threat
I
because I have
don't.
plenty already.
I
So
don't.
you're like, you're a little caught off guard, but you're like, what the hell is this again? I'm sorry. And you look back at Pardo like, are you wasting my time right now? And he's just standing there very stoically like,
I'd like to state that I'm presuming that this room has like the sound dampening field and everything, since it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
so
private.
The moment that the doors close and everything activates, Norma goes back to her cold face and says, "Duchess Daphne, for being a house inundated in espionage, you cannot see through disguises quite that well."
Scolded.
It's difficult when I'm used to seeing you through a veil. Is this another veil?
This is the veil against the sisterhood. I have been ousted, we shall say.
I am glad to hear that reports of your demise were greatly exaggerated.
Expecting them to be true was improper on your part. You should know better.
Who said I expected them to be true? My eyes are dry after all.
Would they have been wet anyway?
You know me. You know my thoughts on family.
I am glad to hear that I am still family. So you now know this shall be Conquee Cen everywhere outside.
Of course.
But I am still Norma.
Did you determine your role within the house?
Envoy.
From whom?
Perfect.
From whom? Wait, was that you,
Yes.
Daphne, saying that?
Envoy from whom?
No, for you.
Oh, for me to send wherever I wish.
Mm-hmm. Pardo worked out the details for me earlier.
That's exciting. All right. I suppose for your first task, I'm sending you as an envoy to House Librius. Yeva's plotting against me. And given how spiky her personality is, she probably has a few friends.
Spiky, has she been acting against the house?
Acting against me. She,
That is one and the
tried...
same.
Well, she tried to bait me into some nonsense at breakfast about a week ago. It turned out unexpectedly well for me.
Well, if she keeps on going against the house in that fashion, then maybe she should continue.
She might get lucky.
However, if you wish to rein her in, there are many ways, including if you don't concern yourself with her as a family replacement.
Let's go for the low-effort solutions before we resort to that.
Very well. I'll see how spiky she is.
Making plans to travel back to Jabberwock. On your way out, or before you leave the privacy field, Pardo reminds you, Daphne, that the time is almost upon you to visit your sister for that time. Several weeks have already passed since the last time that you were delivered a notification about the Sisselrad having passed judgment and acknowledged that this execution is to take place. In addition, he says, surely, purely from a security perspective, it might be better, perhaps, if you deliver your queries to Kyra personally, Your Grace.
Alright, I'll see what I can do about that. I did promise I would visit her afterward.
It gets you to the ground car. Where would you like to head to? Back to the palace to provide some accommodations for your new envoy, perhaps?
Yes.
Very well.
I would also like to arrange, this would have happened before the Fenrings, left the planet.
Yeah.
Daphne just sends both of them, small gifts, thanking them for their friendship. The Count gets like a tie tack, and Lady Margot gets a really nice bottle of perfume, with a really nice handkerchief, wrapped around it, and I will message you the coded dots. Or I could just say it out here if you prefer.
No, however you want.
Yeah, so the coded dots are M. I am sorry I cannot create the world you want and deserve. I'm doing the best I can. You will always have my love.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. All right, so you go through the process of bringing Sen back to the palace, bringing her to the palace, and establishing that she's the envoy and she has personal quarters in the palace. And people look at her. Surprisingly, the performance is that good that it fools the rest of the staff here that this isn't the confident stride of a Bene Gesserit adept or Reverend Mother, but of some envoy. Would you describe her as having a bubbly personality?
It's just so warm here. I mean, I've not been in a place this dry in ages. It's going to dry. I'm going to need to put on so much moisturizer.
Daphne is going to, in effect, like, oh my god, calm the fuck down attitude.
Bring it down a notch, please.
So-
I'm so sorry, Duchess. I'm just so excited.
No, it's fine. You are who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity. I have been training for so long for this. This has been a dream.
Yeah, very nice. So as you're getting accommodated, Daphne, you can't help but notice, but there is a guild envoy here, an entire entourage, in fact, almost a train of representatives heading up and past the security perimeter. Like, they obviously have credentials to get in, and they've messaged ahead. And Pardo seems kind of surprised that they came out of nowhere. Like, usually he gets notification that, people are showing up at the palace, and he's like, "Excuse me, Your Grace, I have to deal with something." And he goes to intercept them. And they quickly kind of show him a writ, close it, and he kind of just sighs and points upstairs. "Allow me to show you the way. Elois."
That was me saying, yay, me, not oh fuck me at all.
There's a ringing at your door, and you, from the communique that you have, it's Pardo messages ahead, and it's like, "You have company from the embassy."
Interesting. Please have them come in.
He tries his best to steer them into like a foyer on the upstairs to kind of house them. He's like, "There's a problem. They don't want you. They want your other half. They want Amirah."
They're getting us both then.
I see. I will notify them as such. Okay. Amirah's like, "What is this about?" "I thought we were done with them. I thought they were done with us."
I assume it's bad, whatever it is. So
She readies her blades.
yes, perfect.
She leads the way. The guard lets you both in. There is a first and second stage navigator in this room, almost in the same, yeah, almost the same stage that you would have been in had you stayed. Now, this isn't like they're in a tank swimming or anything like that, but they have like a bubble around their head, and you can't see it because it's just spice gas. And they have like this official lapels and everything like that, showing that they are people of authority and they're not fucking around. She can leave, one of the steersmen says, pointing to you, Elois. And Amirah's like, if you want me, she stays. There is no negotiation. Either she stays or I walk, whatever this is. And they kind of look at each other. No. This is coming from Edric. You know Edric, Elois. This is the navigator that, at the beginning of our story, who gave you your mission on Arrakis. He is a third stage navigator and a big fucking deal within the guild. Would you like to try to communicate with the steersman in an effort to try to stay for the proceedings, or are you going to leave?
As members of House Cheshire, we don't take orders from the guild anymore.
Roll communication. Difficulty 2.
Sadly, my deceit specialty does not apply here. I'm gonna go.
You have 3 momentum, by the way.
Okay, I will spend a momentum if everyone's okay with it.
Very good.
And I think I'm going to use power here because my power statement is I will have what is owed.
That fits. Okay.
Okay, 3 days. Let's go. Not easy focus. Oh!
Do you have a determination point you'd like to relinquish at this time?
Rough.
I will use my bonus one that is tied to my unquestionable loyalty to House Cheshire.
Very good. So that makes it 3, which means you get 1 momentum back actually from that. So that's you. That was a good gamble.
Oh, thank you, Drea. I forgot about the benevolence that
Oh,
Lupin got me as well. That's fine. I'll save them. I'll save my 2 benevolences for
You're gonna want to
scarier
save
rolls.
it. Yeah.
You love to hear it when your GM says you're going to want to save it.
Yeah. You see that both of them kind of look at each other again, and it's like you see like they've had a long trip from Junction, and they're just like they're so tired of this. They're just like, fine, whatever. I don't care. Do you care? No, I don't care. All right, fine. Very well. Edric wants an audience with Amirah, effective immediately. No delays. Are you prepared? You see Amirah looks to you.
What is this about? Enough of this cloak and dagger bullshit.
You can spend some momentum to perhaps ask a question since you successfully rolled.
Okay.
I have no choice but to answer truthfully. You have 3 opportunities. You have 3 momentum.
Okay. So I will drop 1 for sure and ask, is this relating anyhow to the visions I've had of Amirah?
Yes.
That's bad. That's real bad. Okay. I'm going to look to Amirah now and in house eye language communicate as much that this has something to do with one of my visions that involved her. And that I will back her on any decision she makes regarding meeting a 3rd stage fucking navigator. Including if she won't do it, I will do whatever is necessary to lessen the blowback.
Yeah, she messages you back with like a glance that says if it's a 3rd stage navigator, if it's Tadrico, then this is very important, and I should probably at least find out what it is that he wants. Would you? But she gives you a questioning look, like, are you? If they insist, would you be okay with sitting this meeting out, like outside the chamber where this is going to take place?
I'll send back quickly. Okay, no, but I'll sit out if necessary.
You see, Amirah straightens back up, and she's like, "Very well. Where is Edric now?" "He's on Arrakis. He is here."
Oh.
This is bad. This is all bad.
Second. Give me a discipline observation if you have it, and beat 2 if you can. If not, it's not a big deal.
Okay. I do not have observation. Self-control is my discipline. I'll use power again, I think. Oh, please be kind. Oh, okay.
Hey, that's great. So some of the people in the entourage here are not completely guild. There are some people that don't have lapels, the guild lapel, and they're a little sus. So you kind of like observe them from a distance. You've been taught to do this, as being part of the Regis family and all. Not everybody walks with the same sort of like almost robotic single-mindedness as the rest of the guild. Some of them are more graceful. Some of the people in this entourage here are from the Sisterhood. You can tell. Plans within plans. So the entourage is like, you will leave with us immediately to the Hayliner, and you will answer to Edric personally. Amirah's like, fine, but she comes along as well, or there's no deal. They nod, and they leave. They lead the way out. Do you follow Elois? Would you like to see what happens?
Yes.
Very good. A lot of the security personnel are looking. Pardo is on the other end with security Captain Hajan, and he's just like, he's listening to people like, radioing back in and stuff like that, and they're obviously dropping in on the conversation and listening in, and he does the eye communication with you, like, are you okay? Do you need me to give an order right now? Like, what's happening?
I'll communicate that. He's heard who we're meeting, so he knows that part. But I'll communicate like Bene Gesserit are with the guild as well.
I'll notify the Duchess, is his response with his eye movement. He turns around, he touches his neck, and with the sub-vocal microphone, he's just like, Your Grace, the Bene Gesserit and the guild are here in unison, and they're summoning Amirah and Elois Cheshire to a Highliner in orbit. What are your orders? Should we send anyone along with them?
How good are your Tiberii at blending in?
He smiles, and then before he answers, he's like, they do an adequate job.
Send one
and
of
he
them.
immediately summons Zashir.
Thank God, I was like, please not Hurdy.
No, definitely Hurdy.
Holy
Why
shit,
don't-
is that a navigator?
Why don't you send Conquee Cen? Oh my God, this is such a wonderful first assignment.
Oh
I
my
already
God,
gave you an assignment.
You stole Hurdy's personality. You copied and pasted it.
Well, it was effective for Norma. Nobody wants to pay attention to Conquee Cen.
Hey, we actually like Hurdy though.
We do love Hurdy. We do love a Hurdy.
She's so Gertie.
She's the NPC that's been fully adopted. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Pardo comes to bring you along, Zashir. They wake you up in the early morning, which is still wearing on you a little bit, but a couple weeks into this, you're starting to get used to a little bit more. And they're like, you're to accompany Miss Elois and her bodyguard to the Hayliner in orbit. And it's like, we suspect that there are some collaborations taking place between the guild and the Bene Gesserit. Tread carefully here.
A Highliner.
Yes. They're like, yeah, the thing that you've never been on before. You're going to leave Arrakis temporarily.
I'm doing what now?
It's bodyguard work, John says. You've done this sort of work before, I suspect. Correct, Tiberius?
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Yes, I have.
Marshal, we will want a full report when you return. Turns on his heels and walks away. Hurdy's like, where are you going? Where are you going? Huh?
So sheer inside, all of a sudden, is just a void. Where once there was thoughts and machinations, there's now a void.
A void. Agreed. So yeah, you get sent on your way. You quickly have to like gather your things and go because you were not prepared to leave Arrakis so soon, or under these circumstances. It's a very short trip from the palace to the starport. There are plenty of ground cars and hover cars that travel back and forth. Although in this particular case, I suspect they'd take a thopter ride and just avoid driving through Arakeen in general right now. So several thopters flock over to the spaceport, land, and the lighters fueled and ready to go. As soon as you come out, you go right back into this large lighter, which in turn lifts off and rockets to the Highlander that awaits above Arrakis. They don't waste any time. They bring everybody on board. They recognize that this masked, functionary of House Cheshire is some sort of a bodyguard for the Miss Cheshire and such. Yes, so many. So they're like, whatever, you get to wait out here. But the one that they want is Amirah and not anyone else, is to accompany them inside. There's a third stage navigator through those doors, and no one is allowed inside. No one has seen a third stage navigator. Very few people in the Imperium has come face to face with one. So this is not a party. This is a private gathering.
Archibald.
All right. So without any objections, they go ahead and they bring in Amirah, and you can play Amirah for the scene if you like, Elois. In fact, I
Sounds
prefer
good.
it because I don't want to argue with myself.
Sounds good. Not my first rodeo. I can do this. I've played a cold-hearted murder bitch before.
Oh,
in
yeah.
another Eric game, actually.
Yep. You see, they bring you into this chamber, and swimming in the orange spice gas, surrounded by an Ixian sound dampener, is Edric, the third stage navigator that confronted Elois at the beginning of your tale. So this is the famous Amirah I've heard so much about. His voice kind of reverberates in the short immediacy of the field. There are several guards, heavily guarded and armored guild guards, like just lining this large rectangular chamber that you're in, and possibly high ceiling. He sits there in the middle in this cube of plasteel. He's like, your reputation precedes you. In the past, you have killed for us as much as you have killed for love. We understand this. Which is why this reinstatement will also act as your final assignment. The consummate details of Elois's findings regarding the Nexus situation on Arrakis was illuminating. We now know that these Nexus points originate with individuals who possess the gift of prescience. It matters not that these targets of opportunity reside on the desert planet or not. Their actions in the past have created the curtain of uncertainty that hangs over DUNE. They, along with the Nexus points, must be eliminated. Their very existence muddles our ability to predict what will happen with the production and distribution of melange. In many of these futures, the spice flow stops and cannot be restored. This is unacceptable. You will carry out the demise of these individuals, and in return, your beloved will be given a lifetime supply of melange, disguised as a monthly severance stipend for her service to the guild. You will not refuse us, for doing so will bring about your own demise and ensure a similar fate for your beloved.
I see I have no choice.
Correct.
Who?
There's no way that he can convey a sense of joy or anything because he no longer resembles anything that is human. But there is a ring to his otherwise monotone voice that conveys that he's pleased, but if just a bit distrusting of you, of your immediate reply saying, okay, who do I gotta kill? Of course, should you refuse to hurt someone important to the one you love, we have already foreseen that you are not immune to our oracular vision. This is why we planned accordingly. He's like, heed this warning. If you delay your mission or forewarn your quarry, we will know. We can see further than you can, and so we have made contingencies. You would do well to remember this. He's like, somebody from one of the guards comes and hands you like a blade, a very nice poisoned blade for your quarry, and they hand you an encrypted communinet. Basically, this is of extreme, exquisite quality that can reach anybody in orbit or around the planet should they have the ability to receive a message. 1 second. Your first target will be Kyra Iasi. We know that she resides on Arrakis and that she has close ties to House Cheshire's Duchess. You will be supplied your next target upon elimination of the first. Heed this warning, however. If you delay or forewarn, we'll know. We can see further, etc. You would do well to remember that. We are always watching.
She's going to remain passive about the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I intend to discuss this with my beloved, as you call her.
He immediately cuts you off. Elois Cheshire is not to know of any of this. The less she knows, the better.
Are you worried about her visions then?
No response.
Very well. You would do well to remember how effective I was in your employ if you double-crossed me and my beloved.
Like I said, we have made contingencies. Do you take the blade and the communinet?
She does.
Excellent. Now they have you. You turn. He effectively dismisses you unless you have any follow-up questions. He suspects that you don't, however, because he knows you're a professional. Very good. They escort you out. It's a very surprisingly short meeting. How is Elois's reply, and how does Amirah appear when she leaves the chamber with the guild navigator?
So I won't say stone-faced because that will be like a freaking warning flag for Eloise, right? Her face just looks like she told a third stage navigator to go fuck himself. Or themselves.
Pleased with herself then. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so she comes out, she emerges, and she gives Elois this look and says, it's time to go.
Like, I think on Eloise's face, visible relief instantly, like, oh, thank God we're done with him for real.
Seeing that you're relieved upon hearing that, she follows it up on the way to the grand elevator that takes you all the way back down to the hold. It's like, we shan't hear from the guild for a very, very long time. Makes her way to the elevator. Zashir, you notice that there is a lot of security here. like you're a little uneasy. Like this whole process has been weird for you. Like watching Arrakis get smaller and smaller away from you. You're just like, what am I experiencing right now? It's it happens to every astronaut. It's happening to you now as well. And now just after having experienced that, you're being told you're going back. You've been less than an hour in space.
He is
How does he react?
He's so very relieved.
He gets back down. He's just gonna be like, sand, get in my face.
Yeah, he's probably, as soon as he lands, he's probably gonna just like bury his face in the sand of Arrakis.
Oh,
Boom. Kiss the
what were you
ground.
saying, Aaron?
Yeah, as they're descending, Eloise, not knowing which person's underneath the Tiberius mask at this point, just being like, thank you, Tiberius. I don't know if it was made clear, but this was probably the most dangerous situation you've ever been in your life. So thank you.
How typically observant is Eloise?
It is not her strong suit. Lying is her forte.
Amirah, on the other hand, probably much better.
Well, so if you're looking at Zospirius, just the hands are trembling. The hands are trembling like a leaf in Hurricanian.
Wow. When you get back down to the planet side, Amirah will appear to be deep in thought, like just looking out uncharacteristically, like looking out the windows. Usually she's just like straight ahead and holding your hand. This time she appears almost troubled, and she's just kind of peering off into the distance, thinking, processing this very secret meeting with the navigator. Are you going to try to get this information out of her?
Oh, of course. I have to know what happened in that meeting.
Do you do so when you return back to the palace, or on the way there?
Yeah, somewhere where I can drop an Ixine dampener and it won't look freaking super suspicious.
Got it. So you wait until you're back on the premises of the palace, and you're just like, what the hell was that all about? What does Amirah typically tell her? Does she tell her the whole thing, or is she resistant to give her every detail?
I think she's too, obviously love good, but also love makes you do dumb things like protect your partner when you think you're protecting them. Right. So I don't think she spills the beans, just because she knows at this point that the whole seeing the future thing is not just a crapshoot. It's pretty fucking accurate. So I don't think she spills the beans.
So she's just like, they wanted to see me about a contract. So I might be going in and out of the palace at weird hours. Is effectively what I would imagine she would tell you.
Okay.
Or as much as, but she doesn't tell you like her intended target.
Which I honestly don't think, unless it's me assigned, I don't think that's out of the ordinary. Like, I probably don't necessarily even know the names and faces of the people that she's killing. And so, yeah, Elise will nod and be like, and then we're done with them for good after this, right?
She kind of hesitates for a moment and says, right. And how, in her head, how would Amirah be thinking about this as part of a contract with the guild? Like, would she suspect that there's going to be an inevitable betrayal on behalf of the guild and has to plan accordingly? And if so, what would be her contingency plan?
I think she's going to find, I don't know who Amirah would trust besides Eloise in the family, but I think she's going to find someone that she can confide this into, so that when
shit.
I don't. It's the thing is, I don't know who she personally trusts. She knows that Eloise trusts her family and Norma, at least.
She's fought with Tiberii before.
She is shitty with Tiberii. That's true. She's very close. She got close with the Fremen, and they're part of the house, but not. So maybe one of the Fremen.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Great.
She's like, I need time to think. And she, about things. And she kind of leaves the chamber. You get another knock at your door, Cheshire. You get pulled from your detail, whatever it is. You get pulled into a private nook by this very attractive woman, Amirah, who you fought alongside before. She's just silently observing you to see how you react to this clandestine meeting.
Yes?
Can I trust you?
That strongly depends on the information that you're about to give me.
I'm not giving you any information, Cheshire Tamer. I'm here to ask for information from you.
Oh, how can I help?
Who is Kyra Iyasi?
Sorry, I got a little spice in my.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kyra is what are you going to do with this information before I?
She looks at you with these piercing eyes. Who is Kyra Iyasi? I need you to roll discipline.
Is Amirah evil? Discipline roll. Oh no. I only have a 5 in discipline.
Use momentum. Use momentum.
I'm going to drop some threat on you now.
Oh shit! Definitely use momentum.
What?
Maybe
Like
use that
3 of
determination
them.
point.
Yeah, this is a good.
Which means she's gonna roll 4 dice.
It also
This
means
unfortunately
that you get an
is not her
advancement point.
specialty, but she's very passionate about getting this information. So okay, you need to beat son of a bitch. You need to beat 2 successes, please. Because I rolled terribly.
So I would like to use some momentum, please.
No,
Okay,
denied.
momentums.
Oh, sorry. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, you have that right.
Because I'm using her as an NPC, I'm not pulling from your momentum, I'm pulling from my threat. So you still have 2 momentum that you can play with if you want to contest it. And don't forget, you have benevolence.
That's right, I have benevolence. Trying to figure out what drive this would be. Probably.
I hear a baby.
He wants in, but I
So
can't let him
pitiful.
because I can't see him be a bad boy.
Probably truth. No, let's go with power. Even though that's one of my worst ones. How many dice?
I rolled a 4.
With only 2 momentum, I get just 1 extra dice, right? Right?
Yeah. You'd only use 1 though.
Oh, only 1?
Okay. You'd only use 1 momentum.
Okay. Okay. Here goes. Here goes nothing. No, I'm not using a focus.
I'm gonna spend 2 threat. So give yourself another point of.
Oh no!
Give yourself a point of advancement. I'm going to increase the difficulty to 3.
No. Well, that's fine because I only got 1 success.
Okay. So then, you see, Amirah looks at you and it's like, tell me what you know about Kyra Iyasi. She's close to the Duchess, that's all I know. You know more.
Kyra is, Kyra's the mother of Mossum and Lady Daphne.
The Duchess. And she's here on Arrakis, correct? She sees your
Yes.
hesitation and doesn't let you finish the sentence. She's like, and she leans in close to you. I have an urgent message I need to deliver to her. You know which siege she inhabits, don't you?
Yes.
This is a life and death situation. I need you to show me. She holds like a scroll with like a seal on it and shit. Very official looking.
Just a message.
Just a message.
You need me to take you there?
I can fly an ornithopter. I just need you to point the way. You must not tell anyone about this. Do you understand?
Well, Eloise,
Must not know about this. Come, she says, and grabs your hand and starts pulling you along, and you're just like, ma'am. Herdy's in the hallway.
Physical
like,
contact,
Sure, where
stop
are you
it.
going?
I'll be back, Herdy. Just don't break anything while I'm gone.
What's the fun in that? And like you go down the stairway with her, and she just leads you to the ornithopter pad, and it's like, and you tell her it's a couple hours, northeast over the shield wall. She's like, okay. She tells you to put your mask on, your Tiberius mask on. It's like, come on, we're going to Sahaya Tabir. Let's go. You both get into the ornithopter, and off you go.
God, what have I done?
What have you done?
Yes, what have I done? Okay, so while that's happening, you have some people that have already left for Jabberwock and have likely already arrived and have sent communication and direction for the Vangarian Guard to arrive back in Arrakis, Archibald. You also know, however, that there's a lot of buzz going around Daphne's quarters this morning, and you recall Omelas, Pardo, delivering a message from Jabberwock, which also seems to coincide with the constant back and forth messages with Omelas that Alicia is to be executed very soon. You anticipate that a trip from Arrakis to Jabberwock would take about as much time to arrive there around the time that she's supposed to, be. This execution is to commence. Were you wanting to attend that execution, or did you want to stay behind on Arrakis, or do you have other business on Jabberwock that you wanted to get on that Highliner for?
Well,
Because if you did, you may want to discuss it with the Duchess, who more than likely will be going to Jabberwock for her triumphant return, perhaps.
Trying to think. Give me a minute. I just need to make
I know.
because we did talk about some things.
Throwing a lot of stuff at you this session.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, drama before the violence.
Yep. Okay. Okay. No, all we talked about last week was the worms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I believe he would. I think it would look suspicious to Lady Daphne in general to, I guess, go. Not to go, you know what I mean?
To not go. Right, I see what you're saying.
So,
So you consult her about taking the next Highliner. There's one in harbor right now, coincidentally. They can inevitably pass through Jabberwock on their way to Junction, you would imagine. You seek her out and make arrangements.
sure. Yes.
Okay, Daphne. Who do you want to take with you for this? Archibald is throwing his hat in the ring to return to Jabberwock with you. Perhaps your envoy.
So I already asked Norma. So Conquee will come if she has the time, especially if Archibald is coming and bringing his wife.
Very good.
I will let Eloise know. And if she wants to come or not, that's up to her.
I think Eloise will be like, if you want me there, I'll come, but it's a little difficult to be objective after the trauma of losing one sister and a father. I don't have a lot of sympathy for your own sister.
You can stay on Arrakis. And then I imagine Pardo should probably stay so he can continue wrangling security in the Tiberii.
Right on. Very good.
Thanks.
So
I just pictured a bunch of Tiberiuses running around and Pardo with a lasso trying to. Thanks.
I mean, that's kind of what's been going on.
Gru, yes. It's a Minions and Gru situation with those guys. Okay.
Pardo's gonna brand you all next.
Very good.
So before leaving, I'm gonna have Pardo's deliver a secret message to Varys that I have some shit to deal with on Jabberwock. But we should meet in secret when I get back. Watch your back.
Okay.
Not like watch your back like that's a threat, more like a warning.
Be cautious. Yeah, you're dealing with the Harkonnens. Yeah.
Right.
Understood. That's fine. You set off for Jabberwock. This is the first time you've been back in over 6 months. Yeah, it takes the better part of a week probably to get there. So, a short scene with Cheshire and Amirah, because that scene will get resolved much sooner than the rest. You're flown to Sihaya Tabir, where Kyra resides with her face dancers and whatnot. She's a Sayadina and the Naib there. And they recognize the emblem on the ornithopter. So the Fremen automatically, their guard is lowered when you arrive and you land. They recognize you, Cheshire. You're becoming quite famous among the Fremen, especially on this part of the hemisphere.
He has the Tiberius.
Oh, my mistake. Okay, never mind. So yeah, you go in full guise. They don't know Amirah that well, but they recognize the getup that you're in, and they're like, "Where's the Duchess? Where's Mossam? Where's the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother, the consort or what have you? Where's she?" And you're like, And Amirah said, "It's like I bring a message for Kyra from the Duchess. So right this way." They take you through this large hallway in the siege, and on either side there are face dancers that act as a security screening basically, and they just observe you on your way in, just like they do anybody else. And there's a curtain that parts, and she's there amidst this incense that's billowing in the room, and she immediately opens her eyes when you walk in. She's sort of sitting comfortably on a cushion on the floor. She opens her eyes and sees Amirah, and immediately readjusts her posture and stands up. And for a minute, the two of them are just sizing each other up. And you can tell from their body language that there is violence that is about to erupt here momentarily.
I would like to pull out my wow, it left my brain. My
Crysknife?
yes, thank you.
Remember, if you pull the crysknife from its sheath, it cannot be put back unless blood is spilled.
Yes, but I need to defend Kyra if something happens.
Okay, pull out your blade. That's a show. That's a threat in a siege. So you see, you do that, and then Amirah produces with one hand. She produces the message, and with the other hand, she reaches underneath the folds of her colors to grasp the knife, the high quality knife, the poisoned blade that the navigator provided to her.
Oh shit!
Kyra sees something in the situation. She's been here before in her own mind, and she knows what could happen. And despite everything that she knows, despite everything that she's experienced, she accepts it and steps forward. Switching gears to Lady Daphne and the rest of the entourage who arrive at Jabberwock. It's not a good welcome return to your home planet, Duchess Daphne. There's a large group of people gathered here. Perhaps they've been told ahead of time that you would be arriving, but they're essentially throwing tomatoes at you and your entourage when you leave the spaceport. The people here have been, well, let's just say that they haven't been very happy with the way that House Cheshire has been handling things on their home planet post the assault. Instead, they've been looking to House Librius instead for leadership and for guidance. Omelas is nowhere to be seen in the palace when you return. So, despite the nostalgia that you feel when the ornithopter lands on the landing pad and you see all the jungle cats laying about, despite that feeling you get of being home, there's something missing here. Instead, your eyes are greeted by Yeva and her entourage. Obviously, she gives you the smile through her teeth, and she, sends servants to make accommodations for you since you will be staying for the duration of this entire event that is taking place in the garden. She doesn't say anything to you. I think she believes that everything has already been communicated between you and there's nothing more to be said. She sends someone else to deliver a message instead and saying, my condolences for, what's about to happen to your sister. The steward wants you to know that all accommodations will be afforded to you while you're here. However long your stay as long as you like. Stay 1 week or even 2, which is, double speak for it. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you here. I'm in charge now. Thank you. Goodbye.
I want to stay for a month just to spite her, but I've got too much going on Arrakis.
Agreed. Your beloved comes to see you, Archibald. Hello, dear.
Hello.
I see you've brought the rest of House Cheshire with you.
Well, it is the eve of Lady Alicia's demise. That was only fitting.
I would attend, of course, but I have duties to perform here in the palace. Someone has to do it. However, you should probably know that I've already taken steps to ensure that Omelas is no longer part of our problems. He is now contained in the garden as well and is awaiting, well, some sort of a trial, I suspect. Don't worry, we've already gone through his belongings and we have found lots of, well, questionable paraphernalia, to put it lightly. I'm sure it'll come up as useful evidence to point out his conspiracy to commit treason against our house.
Out of character. First of all, is Conquee Cen in the area with
me? She's probably walking along with the Duchess, so probably nowhere near Yeva.
No, but
or
basically,
you.
I walked with her with the entourage and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, you walked up the length of the way, and then Yeva received you apart from the Duchess and Cen.
I feel like I am very observant enough, and I know people's behavior to kind of read if this is somebody else. Can I make a roll?
You think it's a face dancer you're being greeted with?
No, as in like it's a facade.
Oh, I
I
see.
feel like he would be a little bit observant when it comes to that.
Okay, you can make a discipline check if you like. Typically, you would need like difficulty 2 or something like that to be able to detect any sort of basic subterfuge or anything like that. Hold on, secret messages.
This is a truth, obviously.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And this is just 2 dice, or is it always 2 dice? Pretty sure
It's always 2 dice, unless you're assisting, in which case it's 1. If you
Gotcha.
wanted to buy more dice, you're currently out of momentum because you lose 1 for every scene that passes. But you can buy some from me if you like.
I also have advanced. I have a determination too. So and benevolence.
And benevolence. You're coming here fully loaded, my friend. Go ahead and roll.
Oh,
Look at that,
3
successes. So you get a momentum, which is nice. And you can spend that point of momentum to ask me a question of your choosing to gain additional information. But you don't sense any deception to you from Yeva.
No, I'm not talking Yeva. I'm talking Conquee Cen.
Oh, from her?
Yeah.
Oh, please, no. Like you look at her and you're just like, who the hell is this person? And you're just like, I don't never seen this person before. Can I trust her? And you're just like, you see, she seems like
Well,
she
what I'm
seems
asking is like,
she's very well, she carries herself very well, and she seems a little like some sort of a you heard on the trip over like, oh, this is the new envoy, and you're like, okay. Aside from that, you don't really know much about her, but you don't sense any sort of malevolence or manipulation or anything like that coming from her.
You
You
sense
barely
pep in
interacted
my
with her.
step.
Yeah, that's what you sense. You see a lot of pep.
is would I see? Thing is like, it's kind of hard to explain because I have met like Archibald has met Norma.
But I mean,
That's
like,
what I'm
you've
trying to
never
get.
seen Norma because she's always with a veil on. So if your question is, do I detect that they're the same person? The answer is no. You
Okay.
can spend the momentum and ask me a specific question like, where's this person coming from, or what's their demeanor, or any other question that pertains to the scene. But yeah, as
Okay.
far as like, figuring her out on her first meeting, don't even think about it.
Okay. Well, no, I was thinking like because my powers of observation is very, very good. So I was thinking like maybe I could see behind her.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't see any tells that would tell you that this is somebody you've met before. This is a completely different personality.
But I see it if it was just somebody else in general. Like
if it were anybody else in a different outfit, you'd probably be able to tell, hey, that's this person or whatever. But
Okay,
this is a Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother, like.
Gotcha. I thought I'd
Yeah.
anyways. But yeah,
All right.
I'll definitely spend that 1 momentum.
All right. What's your question? Jabberwock cat got your tongue?
Ah, you're hilarious. Trying to kind of word it how I want. So then. Can I trust Conquee Cen?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. You don't stay much at the palace. Basically, the local justiciary is waiting for the Duchess to give the go-ahead. The execution style is, can be set by you if you wish. Hanging, poison, firing squad, and so on.
So, obviously, no pain. I don't want pain to happen. She is part of the royal family, so we need to respect that.
Yeah, and you can convey as much to who you like, but ultimately that falls on the Duchess.
That's a good point.
family after all. So unless you wanted to be very specific as to how they should conduct this, because all options are on the table for them, they usually will default to just like firing squad or something like that, or hanging. Good old hanging.
So who gets to decide the execution style?
The prison, unless you
Okay.
intervene and say no, this way instead.
Unless Daphne has reason to believe that it won't be dignified and humane, she won't get involved.
Okay. Very well. You get brought down to the garden via ornithopter. Lovely place, the garden. You've been here before. You've certainly been here before, Archibald. You remember this place. Lots of conflicted emotions as ornithopter lands and you disembark. They bring you to the internal back portion of the prison. You meet the warden on the way in. He greets you. Small little guy with a weird mustache. And he assures you everything's going to be fine. This will be as painless as possible. They've done this many times before. They bring you into the room, the chamber where this is supposed to take place. It's closed off room, soundproof, thick concrete walls, all the way up a plascrete, all top to bottom. And this room has a partition, a plasglass partition that you could see the prisoner on the other side as they're about to be executed. But they can't see you. Or actually, no, they can see out into the audience and as to who's here to witness the execution. There are people here from the local largesse, as I always say, the rich. Remember that Hubert lady? She's here to see your sister hang and such.
Oh, fuck her.
Exactly.
She's just here to gloat.
Of course, she is. Yeah, so as far as socialites are concerned, they are there. And then they bring her out. And this is the first time you've seen Alicia in such a time. Give me a discipline observation roll. Very important.
Oh god. Alright, well I'm spending a momentum with that kind of hint.
Just
got
You have none,
benevolence
so
too.
you would have to purchase some threat if
just
like.
Daphne or others as well.
Anyone who wants to make the observation roll can make it.
You've got benevolence.
I'm not going to tell you the difficulty.
Oh god. Okay, so what so am I able to spend momentum?
You can, but right now, well, you can buy some from me because you currently have none.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Correct.
Alright, I'll buy some threat.
Okay.
So
See,
that
you want to you want to buy one, so it's just the same cost as momentum when it comes to buying dice. So if you want one extra dice, it costs you one. If you want
okay.
2, it'll cost 3, and so on.
Alright. I'm buying one for sure. What's your ruling on benevolence?
You can re-roll. One or
Okay.
all, some or all of the dice, however you wish.
Okay.
What did you say it was? Discipline?
Feeling
roll?
confident?
Alright, I'll buy I'll buy threat for 2 more dice, so I'm rolling 4.
Wow. Okay. So I'm getting threat now.
You're getting a lot of threat.
Damn.
Yes, I am.
Oh, this is gonna
Pay
hurt.
me
So with discipline,
3. Nice.
would discipline espionage work for this role?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Well, no, not
Oh.
espionage. Not Holy
Oh.
shit!
Yeah, never mind. I guess I don't need it.
Oh wow.
You know your sister very well, Daphne. And when she gets brought out, you expect to see this face that is resigned to her fate, that she's, about to be executed. She knows what's about to happen. But that's not the face that you see coming out of the chamber. Instead, it's one of desperation and confusion. She's crying. She doesn't understand what's happening. She's thrashing against her restraints and the people who are bringing her out of her room. She wants to see a councilman and contest her execution. She wants a retrial. This was a sham. You can hear this. And you can read it on her face. What do you do?
The guy who greeted us, like the person who
The
appears.
warden.
Can I speak with her before get her
Of
last
course.
words? Thank you.
Of course, absolutely. And he motions for the guards to let you through to the little side door that takes you into the chamber where they're going to execute her. There's guys in there with like mala pistols and las guns and stuff getting ready to execute your sister. You walk in and she looks around the room. Her eyes go right over you. Don't recognize you at all.
Alicia.
How do you respond?
Alicia.
She doesn't seem to be responding to this name. You like get closer?
Yeah.
And you get closer to her and you're like, Alicia, and she looks up and she looks into your eyes and there's just confusion there. Like, who are you?
I'm your sister. Who are you?
I don't know. And that's where we'll stop. We're going to have a little break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. The time is now 12:45 a.m. Eastern time, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't go away. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, fuck. 2.
And we have returned from our break. Where we last left off, things were heating up on Arrakis and on Jabberwock as the Duchess and her entourage arrived just in time to witness the beginnings of an execution for Alicia Cheshire, the Duchess's sister. Unfortunately, things were amiss as the Duchess noticed that her sister didn't seem to recognize her or even her own name. When she asked her who she was, her reply was, "I don't know." How does Daphne respond?
You're my sister.
I am? And she looks around confused at all the people here. "Please, you're my sister? Tell them that I didn't do what they said I did. I didn't kill anybody. I swear this isn't me. Somebody else did this. Tell them this is wrong. Tell them you'll stop this, please. You're the Duchess, right? You have the power to stop this, don't you?"
I saw you do it.
"I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody. Why would I just woke up here. I don't understand what's happening."
What's the last thing you remember?
I don't remember. I woke up here weeks ago and I don't know how I got here. And everybody calls me Alicia and they said that I'm gonna be executed because I killed the Duchess and I didn't kill anybody. Why are they doing this to me?
You have no memory of who you are.
No, I don't know what I'm doing here. You rolled so well with your discipline roll that whatever's happening right now doesn't seem to be an act. So somebody must have tampered with her brain, or you kind of wish you had brought Dr. Sloan to perhaps examine her.
Thinking about it, but didn't think there was any reason to.
You have a few momentum.
On it last week.
You have a few momentum sitting in your bank right now, 3 approximately. You can spend them if you wanted to ask a question.
Okay, yes, I will use passive scrutiny.
Very good.
Alright. Hang on, let me bring up my sheet so I can...
Sure.
Oh, I didn't have passive scrutiny wrote down. So, Daphne knows that Alicia was essentially conditioned.
Correct.
And so, it seems as though the conditioning has worn off.
The only thing that you would imagine that would do this to somebody's memories are overuse of the Ixian probe that was used on Archibald when he was in the garden and she had done it to him. Something like that would potentially scramble their brains, if not outright kill them. And they would lose a lot of their memories.
Okay.
However, use of that device would leave a mark of some sort.
Like a mark on the temple?
1 second. Secret messages.
Oh, God.
Yeah, precisely, because the device was sort of fitted around the crown of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like, and it would leave marks, especially something in that sort of magnitude that you would have complete amnesia. Yeah, you would imagine it would leave marks. The
All right.
guards are like, 5 minutes.
Show me. Here. On you.
She parts her hair to the side, and you see no wounds, no scarring, no blemishes of any kind. Your sister was a spy. But more than that, she was a killer. You recall times when you were children at play, and how she inevitably fell and acquired a scar somewhere along her arm extremities just from play. Things that stayed with her for her entire life.
Okay. I'll ask her to hey, show me the scar on your thumb where the cat scratched you that one time.
She doesn't know what you're talking about. She just gives you this look.
Just show me your thumb.
She shows you her thumb. You remember that Jabberwockian jungle cat that got, dealt with after, she was playing with one and it swatted her hand and left a big old scar on her thumb? There's no scar there.
All right. I see. I'll do what I can. For what's been done to you, I am very sorry.
Are they going to let me go? Begging you, please don't let them kill me. I didn't do anything that they're alleging I did.
So is there a way that Daphne could identify if she's a face dancer or not?
Oh yeah, that would be a discipline check, similar to the one that you rolled.
Okay.
You've seen face dancers up close, and you're this close to them. You're not a Reverend Mother or anything like that, but this doesn't look like a face dancer. You could perhaps gain the perspective of an actual Reverend Mother if you want to call over Miss Cen to check for you. You have less than 5 minutes now.
Alright, I'm gonna try and do it myself. I'm gonna spend 1 momentum.
Okay. Roll discipline. Observation again.
Oh, 1 success.
If it was a face dancer, that wouldn't be sufficient to know for sure.
Okay. I want you to look at me. Really look at me. And tell me that you don't recognize me. At all.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's happening. Please tell them the truth. I don't remember anything that happened to me or why I'm here. I don't know who this Alicia is, but I didn't kill anybody. 1 second. You see, Miss Conquee Cen approaches, and the guards immediately bar her entry. Like, ma'am, your grace, your envoy wants to come in or speak with you.
She can have a few minutes.
The guard corrects you. 3 minutes. Door opens. You're led inside.
Oh, wow, this is such a horrible place to kill someone.
3 minutes, Conquee.
Sort of like, who is this?
I go up to the Duchess and put my arms around her in the comforting fashion, and then I extend my hand out to the fugitive and kind of touch her on the arm and say, "Oh, it's all right, dearie. They don't make it painful anymore."
You reach out, though, and touch her face.
Yes.
Yeah, baby soft skin.
Oh, wow. What type of conditioner do you use in moisturizer? You're just so baby soft. It's like you're a newborn.
She makes this face when you say conditioning. It's like, away from me.
Is that code for she's a face dancer?
No. It's like you're straight out of a mother's womb.
I see. Daphne will leave the room, go to the warden.
Is there a problem?
There is. I am not doing this to ask for clemency. I'm doing this because you need to know that your facility has been infiltrated.
What? Preposterous. So, what evidence is there to suggest this?
She's an imposter. Whether
I assure
you...
This is Alicia Cheshire, Your Grace.
With all due respect, I know my sister.
You're saying this is not Alicia Cheshire?
That is what I am saying.
But you still want her to... No. I'm afraid I don't understand. Does Archibald or Conquee Cen here speak up? Duchess's defense?
Dearie, this is the Duchess. This is her planet. If she's telling you that your facilities are compromised, she's not wrong.
I'm not telling you how to do your job. Decisions you make are up to you. I'm just telling you information that I think you would need.
With all due respect, Your Grace, if you're saying that this woman here is not your sister, then... well, we would have to file for... we would have to delay the execution or file a mistrial?
And find where she really is. Perhaps go through your logs, find a time when they might have been swapped.
You're saying this is a doppelganger? A Gola?
I am as surprised as you are.
Seal the room, he says. And he gives the order, and everybody, including the socialites and everybody, are just like, what's going on here? Get out! You know, and he throws everybody out. Except for you all, and Alicia and the guards. Bring her out here. Now then, if this is a ploy, she says, and he says, and looks to her, and she's like, this is not, I'm not, I don't know who you expect me to be, but I'm not who you want
Warden.
for murder. I didn't murder anyone. I don't have a memory of ever murdering anyone.
Warden. I swear on my mother's grave, I want her murderer brought to justice.
Please get me out of here, she says. I don't belong in here. I didn't do anything. Please, you have to see that. You see that the warden is like, put her back in her cell. Immediately. Wait, stop, no! You see, like, they grab her and they like, she's fighting them the whole way through. Please, don't, you can stop this. Don't do this to me. And, like, they just drag her away. And the door shuts closed. Well, this is an embarrassment, to be sure, Your Grace. I apologize. And she kind of looks to the rest of you, like if you are also corroborating this, that's not actually Alicia Cheshire. And he's just like, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't know. We will conduct an investigation immediately, and we will send subsequent updates regarding this investigation to your residency of choice. Are you planning on staying on Jabberwock during this investigative period, or shall we forward the correspondence elsewhere?
I'll spend a couple days here before returning to Arrakis.
We'll get our top people to work on this immediately and to see into these allegations. My apologies again, Your Grace. And he kind of like motions for them to escort you out of the chamber.
Your discretion and judgment are both very much appreciated.
Of course. you're let out of the room. What do you do with that? You just learn that the person they're about to execute is not your sister, and yet they are your sister. On the one hand, you want your sister to be punished for murdering your mother. On the other hand, is this how you get your sister back?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Archibald.
Oh, fuck my life.
So Archibald would actually kind of speak up and kind of iterate that to a certain extent. He would say, well, it seems that she's kind of got a blank slate of some sort, Lady Daphne. This could present some opportunities for us. Potentially.
She is something who looks like my sister, but she is not my sister.
Yes. But on the other hand, you don't know that as well.
Whoever that woman is in there, I don't think it was her hand on the knife.
Well, of course not. She hasn't been around long enough to do any of this.
And if it wasn't her hand on the knife, that body's hand on the knife, then she doesn't deserve death. She's some poor innocent caught in another of Cardis scheme. Add that one to the tally.
Pretty much. You also got to think of it this way as well, too. This could be a little bit of a new awakening as well. She may not be your sister, but you could get her back, potentially. I think you should think about that as well, my lady.
I have been grieving the death of my sister for several long weeks.
It's ironic, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
So it's ironic you have a chance to potentially get her back.
I lost my sister 12 years ago. Whatever came back from the Carroll prison wasn't Alicia. Whatever's in that prison isn't Alicia. The woman that I know as my sister died 12 years ago. There's no coming back from that.
Just telling about your opportunities. She could have a chance to learn anew. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I could build a mannequin and put a wig on it and call it Mother, but Adelaide is still dead.
Just telling you the opportunities and the decisions you can make.
I appreciate
You know that
that.
if you were, with an understanding of 8 and a focus in house politics, you know what the political implications would be of pardoning this woman. It wouldn't go well for you as the Duchess of Jabberwock. You know that much, because the people, regarded your mother in very good standing despite her short reign.
Oh no, so Daphne's end goal is not to pardon this woman, but to be like, they done a heckin' bamboozle on the garden. It's not a spy, it's not her. We are starting a search for the actual murderer. And letting this poor innocent
real
had
justice.
nothing. Yeah, this poor innocent had nothing to do with it, so we're not going to punish her. We're going to track down the actual murderer.
Fair and honest executions.
Yeah.
So if the investigation finds that she really is a person who was never actually legally put here and is not in fact your sister, they would have to release her as per the law.
Sure, but that's different than a pardon? Like the way that I'm viewing it?
Sure.
As like...
Okay.
Because Alicia is still going to go to trial or go to the gallows, but this isn't Alicia.
Right. So they'll be like, oops, you got the wrong person, and the outcome might not be exactly the same, but the people on Jabberwock who are thirsting for some kind of justice are going to be very upset about this. That much you do know.
Alright, so No
So-
matter what,
It-
Daphne wants what? Alicia Idaho? Dare I say it? Um, Alicia Idaho will be kept in the garden
Mhm.
for the duration. Execution pending, but currently stayed while irregularities are sorted out.
With the possibility of even more executions.
Yeah, so also Jesus fucking Christ. Oh right. I can't use Omelas for this. God damn it.
He's in here if you wanted to see him.
Oh shit, I need to go talk to Omelas.
Excellent. They have him on the other side of the prison complex, on their heavy guard, because the charges levied against him include treason and conspiracy, and they kind of take that sort of thing serious here. But they let you in, of course. Omelas' eyes are downcast. He's just sitting there processing everything when the door opens, and he looks up unexpectedly to see you. Your Grace, you've come. He stands up and he sort of humbly begs before you. Like he bows, and prostrates himself before you, and he's like, do you let the others come with you, or do you tell them to stay back?
I'll let Conquee come, but Archibald should stay back.
Sure.
Unless he's like really insistent that he wants to be there.
At a glance, he doesn't recognize Conquee, of course, so he's just like, okay, whatever, it's a handmaiden, sure. But he gets right to the point when he sees you. He's like, they threw me in here, Your Grace, and it's a travesty, another travesty of justice for House Librius.
Quick question. Could
Mhm.
Conquee have looked up the mountain of evidence that they found? Like, had gotten a list of all of that?
As an envoy to House Cheshire, in such a short period of time, probably not.
Okay.
But you can ask him about it, or when you return back to the palace, they can include you, and they can clue you in on what's going on.
Okay. All I'd want is
I
just
guess I would. I'm sorry. I would go, but if Lady Daphne insists, I would take my
Stay out. They keep you out of the room. Like, no, it's just those two, and they shut the door. He's like, it was Yeva, Your Grace. As soon as she came back, she was drunk off of power. I suspect that this is the hand of our enemies in House of Cardus at work. And it's like, they accused me of conspiracy to commit treason against the steward of Jabberwock. I was the steward of Jabberwock. And they came back and they levied these charges against me that I conspired to murder your uncle and his wife. These charges are false, I assure you. I did everything I could to mitigate any distaste for you, Your Grace, among the people of Calais City. I do not possess the capability to plan, conspire and create grand conspiracies to undermine the power here. I'm simply trying to put out as many fires as I can at once.
I know. Yeva's been a thorn in my side for a while.
I am sorry about the situation with your sister, Your Grace. I understand they're going to...
Aren't going to kill her.
Oh?
There's...
You pardoned her. Oh.
I have not. There is someone in her cell who looks exactly like her, but isn't her.
A face dancer, Your Grace.
I look to Conquee, explain,
a
please.
face dancer would be way too easy. We'd be able to know that the moment they died. Silly. Who else makes...
goes to you and goes...
Who else makes face dancers, though? Or what else do they make besides face dancers?
I'm sorry, who
They
are
make
you?
whole bodies!
Your Grace.
Sorry, Mr. Omelas. I'm Conquee Cen.
Conquee, I know that I've been very angry at Omelas and blaming him for my mother's death. It's all been an act.
Oh, my apologies.
He's a little confused, obviously. He's like, but then he starts processing things like,
I used my normal voice when I said that.
I recall your voice. I know who you are.
I'm
Despite
dead.
your outward appearance.
I am Conquee Cen.
Your Grace, there are forces at work here that are undermining your authority and Germany here on Jabberwock. There's something insidious certainly happening, but I think the real threat is on Arrakis with the rest of your house. And we're simply feeling the effects of a propaganda war here on Jabberwock.
Propaganda wars are easy. But you've been very loyal to me, and I won't let this stand. But yes, it's a false Alicia in the cell. She's going to stay there until we figure out where my real sister really is. And who might have allowed her, arranged this escape.
I don't have to tell you, Your Grace, that you need to be shrewd regarding your decisions regarding myself and your sister or whoever this is. Allow me to use my abilities to try to get myself out of this situation. Any interference from your part or anyone else within the house will seem as tampering, and it will further incriminate me. I suggest, however, that if and when you return back to Arrakis, you notify Marshal Reed to get rid of any communications that he may still have regarding, and he looks around, the Hexagon.
Would
I will.
Thank you.
Out of character, would Bene Gesserit have had any knowledge of this?
None.
Okay.
This is literally a secret society only among Mentans.
Norma hears the hexagon and just does the eyebrow raise of...
Yeah, part of Reed's keeping secrets? What's this all about? Yeah.
I'll have to speak with him about this later.
I assume it's a coded message between Omelas and Pardo.
Right.
I trust them both, it's fine, I don't care.
Thank you for coming to see me. I wish I had more to report, but unfortunately I've been kept in an information devoid of any, in a silo devoid of any information whatsoever for several weeks now.
Alright. Do you have any idea of what the issues are on Arrakis?
Too little information, I'm afraid. What exactly has been happening on Arrakis? And how much do you fill him in?
Kyra's there. She's up to her own plans. The Harkonnen are being Harkonnen. So dumb and violent. But we have made very positive. We've been forming very positive relationships with the Fremen.
This is a good development. However, the last time we were speaking of Kyra here on Jabberwock, it seemed that she was behind some sort of a schism within the Sisterhood. Is this correct? And she looks over to you, Conquee.
Indeed.
I'm just gonna start calling you Connie from now on, if you don't mind.
Okay. The schism was instigated by her and resolved according to the Sisterhood, but there are still many, many sisters at play on Arrakis, and now they know her location is somewhere on the planet. They can't go too far because it is still Arrakis, but
he levies a semi-accusatory tone with you. And I suppose they didn't gain this information easily or freely from anyone within House Cheshire, did they?
Not freely. Not intentionally.
Reluctantly,
The
then?
truthsayer arrived.
The Emperor's truthsayer.
Indeed. She gleaned enough. Sent 4 assassins to finish the job on me.
His wheels start turning, and he's like, now I understand your appearance. Your current appearance. This is...
Norma is dead.
This is unfortunate. An unfortunate set of circumstances for you. Like, if the Sisterhood is now considered an enemy and are coming for Kyra and anyone associated with her, you have more enemies than just the Harkonnen to deal with, or even House of Cardis, what's left of it.
This
There
is
has
the
to be
Empire.
contingencies put into place.
Oh. And Mossum.
Currently
The
with his
boy?
father. I'm
His
not
eyes go wide when you mention that. He's just like, oh dear.
I'm not sure how
Forgive
he.
me.
I'm not sure how he arrived there. The last I saw, Kyra had him.
Forgive
The
me, Your
boy
Grace. I
is
have left
much-
your service too preemptively.
The boy is much more capable than we all gave him credit for.
He's a boy, he says.
He is still a future candidate for the Quatsit's Hederic program. He has visions.
Balderdash.
Just stare directly into his soul as I say. Our program has existed for longer than you can ever imagine.
And has not produced any results.
It takes time. It is the long game.
Kyra has a unique DNA. It's possible.
I understand the long
shortening of
game.
the way.
I am rooted in the present moment, however, and I am looking ahead, but I need more data. I'm
Well, I
sorry,
think-
Your Grace. I cannot assist you too much from my current circumstances, but like I said, do not interfere with what is happening here. It will be seen very badly by the public.
I'll put on
Damage you politically.
I'll put on a performance on my way out.
It was good seeing you, Your Grace. Please be cautious.
I will, thank you.
When the doors open as we leave,
Mhm.
Conquee slaps him.
I mean, Daphne was like, she's gonna work up some tears, slam the door, and scream, "This is all your fault!" Storm off.
He just bows and his head, like a good servant, and just waits for the door to shut, and he kind of smirks a little bit at that. Okay. Doors open, you get let out. You proceed outward. Is there anything you do while you're still in the garden, or do you do anything back at the palace?
Daphne will take a couple days of like shaking hands and kissing babies.
Mm-hmm.
Just being present and listening to people's problems and doing what she can to make herself like, hey, I'm here, I'm helping.
Yeah. They you put on a good face, and you deal with a lot of bullshit, but you go out into Calais City and you meet with, in a very curated manner. They go out and canvas an area, and they bring you in. How much time do you want to spend on Jabberwock doing this?
Like 3-4 days.
Okay.
And so the big thing that Daphne wants to convey is
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very homesick for Jabberwock. This is my home and I love it. Being
Yeah.
on Arrakis is a huge sacrifice for me, but you know what's on Arrakis is the launch. And so that
Very good.
will, some of that will eventually make its way to Jabberwock.
Okay. Does Connie assist in this public relations effort, or does she skulk over into the palace to do her investigating?
Ooh. I'll probably
You
be
are the
skulking.
envoy, after all.
Yeah, skulking seems more like it's my deal.
Gotcha. So
So,
you go back to the palace and go through all the evidence that Yeva was able to dig up on
Yeah.
Okay.
After I do a quick walk around and greet everyone at the garden and thank them for all their hard work and
Sorry.
give them a nice
Excellent.
big handshake and check each and every single one of them to see if there's some
Sure.
slimy bastards that aren't supposed to be there.
There's plenty of
Conquee,
people that
we're
shouldn't
on
be
a
there.
schedule.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be quick. I can run around really fast despite my... I'm not that old.
There are definitely people who don't belong here. Most of them are sycophants, socialites that Yeva has surrounded herself with, people like Hubert, who are very adamantly opposed to the Cheshires in general and see how slippery us as, the actual stewards of Jabberwock. So she holds court with them regularly now that she's been here for about a week or so. You go through the
mark down
records.
each one in my head.
You burn their visage into your memory as you shake hands and smile through your teeth at them. And then you scurry off to meet with the security captain and go through the evidence accumulated for Omelas. You come to find out that they didn't really procure much in his quarters. Most of the stuff they didn't understand because it's all encrypted. It's all encrypted messages, and they don't know what the cipher is. And trying to break a Mentat cipher is a good way to give yourself a hemorrhage. So some sort of an aneurysm. So they're just I don't know. We're still figuring it out.
Well,
but that's what you have so far.
If you don't mind, I'll take a copy of that on a Redillion crystal, and I will be looking at all of this very closely.
As you wish, with the Duchess's
It's
permission.
the Duchess's orders, of course.
They put it on a crystal copy for you, so you have the whole a copy of all the stuff. In the coming days, they managed to manufacture something for you there. Archibald, while you're on Jabberwock, what are you doing while Daphne is out and about in this big PR push, and Connie's sneaking around the palace and shaking hands in Yeva's court? Holy shit, my secret messages just exploded. Hold on a second.
Oh Lord. It's almost like they all want to know what I'm gonna do next.
Go ahead. What were you wanting to do?
All right.
The voice via megaphone, yeah.
Did it two-shot.
Yep. That happened.
So while okay, so I would actually like to speak to Omelas if I could.
Oh, this will be good.
Yes.
Okay. They don't deny you entry or anything like that. He's obviously not thrilled to see you. He's like, oh, General Archibald. Must say I'm surprised to see you.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily believe that you tried to kill me.
Then why did your lovely wife decide to throw me in here, throw away the key?
My lovely wife.
You
Honestly,
know her better than I do, certainly.
I think she is a little power hungry.
A little.
Example.
That is an interesting use of that word.
Yeah, I know. But I thought I'd come straight to the source.
The source of what?
Why did you come to Jabberwocky from my house? Was it the sole reason that for someone...
You're gonna have to make a hold on. You're gonna have to make a communication roll versus his discipline, which is considerable.
Considerable.
Uh-huh. Omelas Dorathier.
How much? What do I
House
need to get?
Mentat Advisor to House Cheshire. What's that? I'll tell you your what your discipline is 7. Holy shit. 1 second. This is going to be duty. So he's gonna win big on this one. He is going to spend. Ooh, give yourself an advancement point because he will absolutely roll 4 dice to protect the secrets of House Cheshire. So go ahead, roll your communication as you will. He's gonna roll 4 dice. Although he doesn't have self-control or anything like that, or he as a focus, he is intensely loyal to House Cheshire. So, and he has the trait loyal. Actually, he has 3 successes you need to beat, sir.
3.
3.
I'm also going to take this momentum here.
Sure.
I also have benevolence.
You are you going to spend 1 momentum?
Okay, I'm going to use 2.
Well, you don't get anything with 2. You can spend 1, and if you succeed, you can ask a question like the others have.
Yeah.
But that's going to leave you with the expenditure of 1 will give you 1 dice, so you'll roll 3 instead of 2. But that's it.
Gotcha. I'm also going, if this don't work, I'm going to spend my determination point or benevolence. Or
okay,
whatever.
Proceed.
I can use focus on this one. 3 successes. Hell yeah.
There it is. Okay. You're like, I know that you're up to something, and you have no power here. You're without, counsel at the moment. Like, come on, let me help you. Help me help you. Or you say something to them, unless you had something specific you wanted to tell them. You're like, tell me why you're here, right?
I'm going to say, thing is, I know Lady Daphne, and she doesn't exactly trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, you've been loyal to House Cheshire for so long, and you just randomly come to House Liberties? I find that quite suspecting.
I was of no use to the Duchess on Arrakis. I would be better served to House Cheshire if I came here to become its steward.
Yes, but you also quit your job and you went over to House Librius.
Correct.
As in, you wanted nothing to do with the Cheshires. I know that letter. You literally said that you didn't agree with what Lady Daphne was doing. So tell me, why did you join House Librius?
You have not given Lady Daphne sufficient reason to trust you or your wife, Lord Librius. And so, without having anyone from House Cheshire here, I was the logical choice. I'm sure this sort of exercise is not foreign to you. You experienced it under your brother's rule, and you certainly experienced under Adeline's rule. Nothing is what it seems in these halls. You know that.
Do I have to bring out the letter to show you?
You don't have to show me anything, Lord Librius. You play the game just as way as everyone else does here. Except we play it better.
Well, it's fine. But don't say that you weren't a spy for Lady Daphne.
I never said that. You did. I suppose that could be considered an allegation, one that I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of soon enough. And I'm sure that when the truth comes out, as it typically does, you and your house will not be embarrassed in the slightest.
Out of character.
That's a threat, by the way. You don't have to roll understand to know that was a threat. And basically implying, like, if you don't want to save some face, your wife should go ahead and just remove all charges from, what's been levied against me.
So I do have a question.
Mm-hmm. I may have an answer.
What roll get me on that?
The roll, basically you beat him and his discipline. So you're like, I got you in a box, dog. I know what's up. So tell me why you're here, why you came here. And he basically kind of like double talked his way through the conversation saying, yeah, you're right. I came here for a reason, to be the steward of Jabberwock while they're away. So I never left House Cheshire. I came here to spy on you and to make sure that you don't bury or you don't lead Jabberwock into the ground while you're, in control of it. And I was right to do so. He basically kind of tells you, and he's like, yeah, I know you think you know how we play this game, and you should know by now that when somebody has a rift with somebody else in this family, you should check again, because it happened many times before. It happened with Elois Cheshire and Adeline, and it happened with Adeline and her own daughter Alicia. Now it's happening again with Omelas and Daphne. And he's like, please, okay, like, we play this game. We've been playing this game longer than you have, and we're much better at it. So yeah, you caught me. But what's actually going to happen when they look at all the evidence? They're going to find that I've been absolved of any supposed crimes of treason and conspiracy, because it was all made up. Who made it up is the real question. And if that becomes the real narrative out of this whole ordeal, you're going to have egg on your face.
Gotcha.
Or rather, your house will.
And that's kind of where I will say, no. More just observation. But you're right. I don't think you did it. But
Excellent.
I do plan on finding out who did.
Perhaps we can find out together. If you drop the charges, that is.
By all means.
A wise choice, Lord Librius.
I'll do what I can. See what I can do. But I can't promise anything.
Of course.
Because at the end of the day, though, too, you still have a house to look after.
He nods. Let yourself out.
Yep.
What do you do after the meeting? Do you say anything to Yeva upon your return to the palace?
So, on my way to the palace? Not yet. I will... First, I want to know who's... I want to make sure that no one is following me.
Okay. I mean, you have your Vangarian guard with you. They're to come with you back to Arrakis when you go back, assuming you go back. They're going to come with you. So nothing gets past these guys. You're not getting followed or anything like that on a ornithopter trip back and forth from the garden. You feel pretty secure and pretty safe within the confines of the palace.
So, quick question for the Hayliners.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is there just one port on Jabberwock?
Post assault, yes, probably. There's one in Calais City.
Okay.
Directly beneath the palace. On the cliff.
So, yes, there's one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave and go outside of... Basically go outside the palace, outside...
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a little bit of no man's land. Kind of...
Huh.
And I'm gonna talk to Alicia.
You're gonna go to the one in the... I'm guessing you're not referring to the one in the prison.
Oh no.
Called it.
Okay. This is what the wastelands on Jabberwock look like. You arrive in your thopter. It's a secret pre-planned location. There's a figure there standing and, draped completely from head to toe with an Ixian mask on. Same one that lorded over you when you were in the garden. How the tables have turned. You arrive, I'm assuming with your Vangarian guard and no one else.
Correct.
Door
I'd also
opens.
make sure I'd have I want my Ixian dampener. And
no one's out here. No one's out here listening. Yeah.
I also know how nosy the house is. So
okay, fair point. Fair point.
So I'd making sure things were in tip-top shape. No one was here.
All right. You put out the dampener. A couple of Jabberwockian jungle cats stalk the grounds nearby with you. You're in the middle of nowhere. These are the Badlands.
Mm-hmm.
She throws back the hood. You wanted to see me?
Yes, I do. What price do you have on your life? I'd really love to know.
What's the price? Aren't I supposed to be dead by now?
Yeah. And it's kind of ironic.
So what's the problem?
I just find it kind of ironic that you broke in to basically destroy me to a certain extent, but yet here you are.
Look, I already know that I owe you big for this, okay? So stop screwing around.
No.
What is it that you want?
I will screw around. And one thing is, I want to know if you were told the whole story by House Carol. I do. And I want to know just how conditioned you were.
Conditioned? You say that like I was brainwashed. House Carol showed me the truth. My family engaged in infanticide. They threw me away like a used object. Like an instrument to be thrown away after one use.
Did they also...
And I resent them for it. All of them.
Didn't House Carol... I'm pretty sure Adeline was setting up an alliance between those two at one point or other. So why would they kill a child just to unrest that? That makes no sense, Alicia. Even you know that.
It doesn't matter anymore. She's dead. And as far as anything else is concerned, so am I. Why are we digging up the past? I'm not interested in the past anymore. I'm interested in the future. Now, quit toying with me and tell me what it is that you want in return for my freedom.
I'm going to take the little note out of my pocket. The one that said Omelas tried to kill me and stuff like that.
There was no note that said Omelas tried to kill you. That was what Reese told you.
I thought there was a note. I thought you told me
The
that
note that you're referring to is the one that was delivered to you by Omelas that says, "Hey, I'm leaving House Cheshire because I can't stand Daphne anymore," which was, of course, a complete fabrication.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only note that you have that has Omelas' name anywhere on it.
Okay. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, there's no actual hard evidence that Omelas conspired to kill you. That's kind of the problem. The stuff that they acquired from his room is all encrypted
Gotcha.
messages that he refuses to add to, respond to queries about. And the security team is like, how the fuck are we gonna break this without a cipher? They don't know what, and more than likely the cipher is in his head because he's a mentat. So lots of luck with that.
Okay.
So Alicia is basically like, who do you want me to kill, or what is it that you want me to steal, essentially? Because I suspect that you want to retain control of Jabberwock, and for as far as that's concerned, I don't care. But I owe you a debt. I owe you that much.
Here's the thing. I don't want Jabberwock.
Really? That's surprising. Well, your wife certainly does.
She does. To be honest.
Are you going to give it to her?
No. I don't plan to. But this is what I want you to do. I also don't like it when my plans get undermined as well.
Don't we all?
I want you to find somebody, and I want you to tell me where they are.
Who do you want me to find?
I don't have a name, but I can give you a...
You don't know who you're hunting? It's embarrassing.
No, I would give her, like, the description what Reese told me.
Are you referring to the Off-Cardis twin?
Yes.
Okay. So then you know who he is. Like,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Gregos of Cardis. That's who you describe. And she knows who this motherfucker is. Like, oh, he's still alive? Really? Wow, okay.
Yeah, sadly.
You want me to find him? What do you want me to do when I find him?
I want you to find the bigger fish.
You think there's someone behind that little twerp?
Exactly. I do think there's someone behind this little twerp.
You want me to bring him to you? Or do you want me to put the machine on him and get what he knows? You know that she's referring, of course, to the Ixion device. You know, that thing that she tortured you with back in the garden?
No. I want you to kill him. The whole thing.
Simple. Good. Understand that once I do this, it's a life for a life. You'll never see me again.
Well, I don't plan on it.
Good. Then we're done here. Once I find the remaining Off-Cardis twin, I'll take care of him for you and send you his head in a box. Good day, Uncle.
Out of character, it would have been I know there's something more to the other Off-Cardist. I would want that head too.
With regards to what exactly?
There's definitely, in my honest opinion, there's more to the Off-Cardist twins. I definitely think there's maybe a surviving member that's kind of like giving them orders, stuff like that. I think there's a big...
Well, okay. I mean, perhaps. As far as you know, the only people that survived House of Cardis were those two, the twins. And since that time, they've been seemingly conspiring against House Cheshire and pitting you against each other. It's been working quite well. Okay, so you have your little meeting with Omelas. Say goodbye to your last piece of momentum. Now we're going to shift back to Arrakis, where the violence is about to begin.
Violence.
Aaron, you're playing you know who.
Yeah, let me pull up that sheet that I had such great luck with last time I played her.
Yeah.
I have a question before we start. The benevolence that has been gifted to Aaron, the player, can be used for Amirah, the character.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you or any of your asset characters, absolutely 100%. Yeah.
Great.
Not even a problem.
I would like to veto that. No.
So you're face to face with Kyra
Drea,
in
don't
her
you do it.
siege. And you see that there's a certain understanding, like she's been in this moment before. It's the same sort of look that you've noticed on Elois's face when she comes to the realization that one of her visions is coming true. That it's a weird sort of deja vu that just kind of ripples through the face, and it's like this moment of clarity and dread. And you see that on her face when she sees you enter with Zoshir, and Zoshir produces his crysknife. She knows what's about to happen or what could happen. So she stands up and she meets eyes with you, and for a moment you kind of size each other up. And she asks a series of questions.
Oh no.
Is what you're about to do for love?
Always.
She concentrates on you for a second to see if there's any sort of duplicity here or anything like that. She checks to see if you're a face dancer. And she understands, that you speak the truth. Come forward then. And she steps forward towards you. I know what it is to give up what you want to protect those that you love.
She'll step forward.
And she looks over to Zoshir and sees the crysknife that's been produced, and him. Why are you here? Is it out of love or duty? Love and obligation, she says.
At this point, Zoshir will remove the Tiberii face to protect you. And will step between Amirah and Kyra.
Oh, no!
Tulu, check Discord.
You already knew my answer for this, by the way, but for safety check reasons, I will respond with green. It's always green.
We like Amirah to make sure there's consent.
Yes, use safety checks at your tools, people.
Kyra puts a hand on Zoshir's shoulder. If she doesn't do what she came here to do, Zoshir, someone close to her will die.
And murder's the answer?
All I see when I look to the future is death. There is no escaping it. It's why Mossam left, or why he ran into the arms of his father. He thinks he is safe there. He is not. The future is not set in stone. It is constantly changing. I've seen my death 1,000 times, and this is no different. She came here to do what she needs to do, not because of obligation to a house or some outframe, but to the people of her siege. In words that you will understand, the people that she loves. Because if she doesn't do what she came here to do, they will be put at risk. And they will die.
And how are the people asking this of you to know?
It was going to happen eventually. If not here, in this moment, right now, it would happen a different way. But death comes for us all, so here. Today is no different.
But it is. you could forestall this death to say goodbye to your children.
I already have, or rather, they have said goodbye to me. If you intervene, know that you will be causing 2 deaths today, not 1.
You can't say that.
I can, and I have, because I've seen it.
I think Amirah will speak up and look to Zoshir, and there is, she's not weeping, but there is water welling up in her eyes, and she'll be like, the future is a terrible burden, Zoshir Tamir. Especially to those who can see it.
There is something coming on the horizon for you, Zoshir. If you take arms now, you put that in jeopardy. Your people will need you in the coming days and weeks and years. If you take arms against her and against those who sent her here, you put all of that into question. One life for everyone else to live.
I can't see the future, but I also can't stand idly by.
I understand. You have an honor to protect, and she has a love to protect as well. She calls or she goes out to, she kind of walks around you two and opens the curtain a pinch and says something in a language, and the Talaxu face dancers that are under her control all file out. Her guards are seemingly away now. And she closes the curtain and turns to face the both of you. I've outrun death many times before, but I know what it is to stare it in its eyes, and it is here today. Do what you must. I will not intervene.
Amirah will look to Zoshir.
He's unarmed. It's dishonorable.
I'm never disarmed, Zoshir. What you don't know about the Bene Gesserit is we are the weapon.
Sorry, my dog just whined at the best time.
If you need to sheathe your blade after it has tasted blood, then take mine and know that you can walk away here with your honor intact. You were never assigned to protect me.
You are a Sayadina. That is a position of great importance here on Arrakis amongst the Fremen. I cannot.
Exactly. For that reason, I am commanding you to do so.
Excuse me?
She rolls up her sleeve and exposes her hand to you to basically run the blade through to honorably resheath your blade. Put your blade away, Zoshir Tamir. I do not wish someone of your potential to be lost here today. Because I have seen you too in my visions.
He's gonna
and I
look
do not
at the...
wish for the Fremen to lose someone of such importance.
he's gonna look at the blade on the Chris knife.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of stare at it dripping for a second. He'll slowly resheath the blade, spit on the ground before Kyra, and walk past Amirah out of the cave. But as he passes her, your water isn't worth stealing. And leave.
Very good, sister. I release you from my care. You walk out, and she turns to face Amirah. Do what you must, my dear. I won't stop you.
She'll pause, being wise to how many futures are possible.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen me coming here, obviously. Is there a future
Have.
where I walk away and you live? And what does that future hold for Eloise? More importantly.
Death. From the guild and Bene Gesserit.
That's all I needed
Death
to know
from,
then. Oh,
death
sorry.
from spice. She's like death from spice addiction. If you fail.
Very well then. That's all I needed to know.
All right. She assumes a restful position and closes her eyes.
It's a poison blade.
It is, and it's quite potent. Quality 4.
But she's Bene Gesserit trained, so
She is.
I'm sure
She can control her body if she wants to.
Okay. So, is that common knowledge that they can control poison in their body?
Not quite.
Okay.
But yeah, you know that they have weird powers and they can mind control people with their voice. All of which she probably could have done to you already, but she hasn't.
All right. Yeah, she will. She has no idea what this poison is, so she'll go for major artery, like femoral or carotid, so that the bleeding out will probably happen before poison, just in case it's a very painful poison.
Gotcha. Yeah, she just kind of grunts a little bit and bites it down and grabs your hand as you're removing the blade. And it's like, tell them I love them and watch over them. They will need your protection and your care. And that one, Zoshir, protect him as well.
I swear.
Because the Mahdi has long been foretold to come from outside of Arrakis and not from within Arrakis. And as such, he will need to be protected. And she kind of slumps to the ground. That's where we'll stop.
Okay, hang on. Is Zoshir a Mahdi candidate as well?
That's literally Drea in chat right now. Is Zoshir secretly from Offworld?
No, he just came from Offworld.
That's all the time we have for this session, everyone. I hope everyone here and those watching enjoyed the show. We'll continue our adventures into the Imperium next Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go around the virtual tabletop here one more time and introduce everybody in our wonderful cast, beginning with Leo.
Hello, my name is Leo. You can find me at Leo the Black playing video games. I'm at Leo the Black. And guys, I told you at the beginning of the season you're gonna hate me. I think you know what.
Been sitting on that one for a while. Tell them tell them what you're up to. What you're outside of this on the internet.
Me? Other than playing Twitch, you can find me here next Friday playing Dune. I'm not in any other games yet, and maybe I do plan on the future DMing one, and you guys will see me that nature. So, but we'll see what happens.
Awesome, Devin.
Hi, everyone. I have been Conquee Cen, also known as Norma. And you'll be able to find me online at Sorta Sullied, and next time you will see me will be in the Age of Dragons on Mondays.
Nice. Aaron.
Hi everyone, I am Aaron. You can still find me pretty much everywhere as Great Cthulhu. You can next see me Sunday on my own channel. I'm going to be doing a super cursed stream where I watch a bunch of cursed food videos with friends. We're gonna have some drinks, bring in Christmas for those of us who either don't love Christmas because of reasons or are not spending it with family this year. So it should be a very hilarious cursed time. Sorry if anyone needs to vomit at the end of it. That's not my fault. You came to watch. And then Thursday I will be on my lovely partner Dre LaFay's channel playing Grounded with her. And then back here Friday for more stress. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome. You came. Yay. Ambrose.
I would like to make a motion to change the term threat to stress, or maybe even anxiety.
Seconded.
More different system.
Exactly. I've been Zoshir Tamer, who has been off world for the first time. Totally didn't get space sick. Don't know what you're talking about. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling, because it's me, Ambrose. And you can find me on Etsy at Thornkind. And you can find me playing again on Monday evenings, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless you live in some other sort of dimension in which it is not that time, and that'll be Dragon Age.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, Rachel.
What the fuck, Eric?
The Alicia thing was my idea, by the way.
So there's a book wrapped up on my table that says "From Eric." So I will have my revenge somehow.
Bring it. Bring the pain.
Hello, my name is Rachel. I am Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet. You can catch me on Monday where I run Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice, Dragon Age tabletop RPG. It's a lot of fun. They've been through the joining. It is a blight. They have their headquarters, and now they have a quest log to get through. Before that, there's a demon in the basement to resolve. And then on Wednesdays, I stream Dragon Age. We are in Act 1 of Dragon Age 2. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, and then there's also Curse of Strahd. She is the Ancient on Monday nights after Dragon Age. Follow me, Stolen Fires, on Twitch and Instagram. I have come up with a cute calendar graphic that I'll start posting so people can get a better idea of what's coming up. So, yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I've been Eric at Maron Rapus Online. You can find me back here on Friday nights. Big thanks as always to our viewers and fans for tuning in. And as always, remember, never sit with your back to the door. Always remember your shield emitter. And be careful with whom you trust, for in the game of houses, nothing is truly as it seems. Good night, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.